everybody. I'm Victoria Simmons with the Georgia Post, and my co-host today is Linda Reynolds.
Hi.
And we are interviewing Sarah Greer today with the Crawford County 4-H program as well as the Extension Department. And she's going to talk to us about both of those today. So we're glad you joined us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So you want to talk to us about 4-H first?
Yeah, absolutely. So 4-H is an organization that's been around since 1904 officially by law. So whether the county adopted it by then, I'm not quite sure, but it is it's over a 100-year program. And so I am a new agent here. I started in December, and so part of the 4-H programming deals with summer camps, summer day camps. That's a big chunk of what we do, and so we can either go off to sleepaway camps at, all across the state, all of our camping centers, but then also at the county level we offer day programs and then some 3-day camps as well. And so actually today was the first day that we officially announced all of our summer programming, so it's pretty exciting for us, especially as my first year. This has been a lot of fun to come up with. Some of these programs are UGA hosted, and so for one of the days we'll be going to the Fortson 4-H Center, which is just up the road in Hampton. We'll also kind of have a summer kickoff, an ice cream party. We'll be having Dickey's ice cream at the Pavilion in David Bailey Park, right outside of the office on June 2nd. Other tours that we're doing will be around the state. We're going to try to get to Noah's Ark. They have some cool animals for us to check out there. We're also going to do a sewing camp. This will be a 3-day camp just during the day, no overnights. So teaching children how to sew and all the importance of that. You never realize how much it can help when you know how to do simple things like that. And so
You're talking machines or sewing on a button?
Both. Yes. So we'll have machines. We'll be renting and buying some, but the girls or boys who decide to come will be able to learn how to make pillowcases and little knapsacks, stuff like that. And then we're also going to make it a community service program. And so we're going to try to get them to sew blankets for the nursing home, and so that's going to be a really cool thing that they'll be able to do. That's again, it's
probably use a new pillowcase or two.
That might be too. Yeah, we'll see what we can give them, what they can use. We're also sponsoring an MG Sprouts. So Extension has a really cool program with Master Gardeners. And they have a junior Master Gardener section, so the young ones can get involved. So our Master Gardeners, our adult volunteers, will be able to help us with a 3-day camp. We did it last year. The agent here did it last year. It's for children 6 to 8, and so these are our youngest 4-Hers, what we call the youngest UGA students in the state. And so we'll have 6 lessons for them in a 3-day camp, learning all things gardening, literacy based. And so we'll be reading books about gardening and then putting those tools to work. We also have some events for our older students. A lot of them will help with the younger students, and then they need to be rewarded. So we'll try to do some movies and game nights and stuff like that. One of the most exciting things that I am ready to do is something we're calling the Young Farmers Academy. So this is another 3-day camp. During the day, again, no sleepovers, but we're going to visit farms all across Crawford County. We're going to go to Fort Valley, some research centers there, and then we're also going to try to make our way down to Tifton, where they have a lot of ag research stations. They have a cotton gin that we can actually watch process.
Cool.
And so kids who are excited about anything agriculture, we're going to try to hit that and also do some of the research-based things. So.
Now I know transportation was an issue with your predecessor.
Yes,
so
definitely.
How are you going to transport these kids?
We are actually able to use a UGA vehicle from Griffin, and so we'll be able to use a bus there. So for the bigger trips, so we try to keep things here in Crawford, but sometimes it's nice to get the kids out and let them know that there's other things to see, and so for those opportunities, we'll be able to use a bus. But for the Young Farmers Academy, we've had farmers in this area offer to have us come and look, and we were just so excited about that one.
There's plenty of opportunity.
So that's new
Yes,
okay,
yes.
great.
And so we're excited about that. We're hoping that lots of kids want to come out and learn about, how they get food on their table.
Our own county is very rich in opportunity.
Yes, definitely. And everyone is so willing to have kids out. I think that's one of the coolest things about agriculture is they can get started so young. You don't hear about a doctor being a doctor since he was 8, 9, 10, but you hear about farmers like that all the time. And so to get them started this young and let them know there's opportunities and careers and high-tech careers in agriculture is really exciting. And so that's going to try to jumpstart that interest in those kids. We're also going to try to get to the Go Fish Center. They
Perry.
yes, in Perry. So that one's a little bit closer too, but we can use that bus and go fishing and learn about all about Georgia aquatic side of the natural resources.
That's very cool. I didn't even
Yes.
know there was a Go Fish Center in Perry.
Yes, yes. They even let you fish in their lakes and learn about the ecosystems there, and they have kind of a museum for the kids to go see.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, Sarah, what does 4-H stand for?
4-H is actually, it stands for Health, Heart, Hands, and Head. And so basically it's a youth development program that encompasses the entire body. You know, you want hands for service, your heart for loyalty, your head for greater thinking, and obviously your health, because the healthier you are and make healthy choices in all aspects of life, the better citizen you're going to become when you're older. And so those 4 H's encompass kind of the mission and even our logo and our name, obviously.
That's lovely.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know this is your first year here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started in Crawford County December 1st, 2017, so I'm still new. I consider myself still new. I'm learning lots of stuff every day. And so my background is agriculture. My start in all things agriculture was 4-H. I was in the 5th grade when a county agent came into the classroom, and we did our speeches, our demonstrations, learned about all of that. And when the spring came, in Tennessee, we do a program called Chick Chain. So students get 25 free chicks. We raise them as 5th graders, and lots of parental support. So we raise them up to about 18, 24 weeks when they start laying, and then we give 5 birds back to the county, and they have a huge auction that people come out to and want to support the program, so they spend a little extra money on a bird than they would. So it's completely free for the student as long as we give the 5 birds back, and that was the beginning of everything for me. My parents said yes to that for some reason. We had a little bit of property, and we could have chickens there, and so that was my start in 4-H, and then it led me to, I mean, basically a free college education because of scholarships, and you know, through agriculture and jobs and internships, and then obviously being here today.
Did you name all of your chicks?
I didn't. No, just that's a lot. That's a lot.
I got to give away Lucy.
Yeah, the ones who caused a little trouble were the ones we gave away.
But meanwhile, you got eggs, right?
Yes. And that was, you know, obviously we had the chickens first, and then you have to get, you know, a goat or two because you have the chickens, and you got to keep up that persona. And so this, you know, this little project grew into this hobby farm, and then it grew into everything that I do today, pretty much.
And have you continued that life tradition of owning animals?
Yeah, oh yeah. Me and my husband recently moved to a small piece of property. We keep chickens there, but we're actually looking to move closer to Crawford and hopefully get some goats and maybe a few cows or something like that. But yeah, I raised goats all through high school, raised chickens all through high school, and then worked with beef cattle farmers throughout high school and college.
Oh. How many students do you have in the 4-H?
So we are actually in every 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classroom. We visit once a month, and those are considered club members. As of this year, we have about 400 of those students that we meet once a month. We do hands-on curriculum, STEM activities. We try to align our curriculums to the school standards so that they get a hands-on version of what they're learning in the classroom. We try to align that. So we have about 400 of those students. As far as outside activities, so like our DPA competitions, our weekend
what's
trips.
A DPA?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, that one just rolls off the tongue.
District Project Achievement. I know
Yes,
that
our
one.
district project achievement. So this is
But our viewing audience may not like me.
So DPA is District Project Achievement. It is an opportunity for students to focus in on a topic that they just love for whatever reason. So they're able to research that project, write a speech about that project, and then present all that research in front of their classmates. And so it's a cool opportunity for them to be independent and, you know, take advantage of learning in a way that interests them. And so those students can compete at the county level, and then they'll move on to compete at a district level. And once they get to 7th through or 9th through 12th grade, they can actually compete at a state level. So it's just an opportunity for them to compete and show their work and
Grow
kinda-
up in the program. it sounds
Exactly.
like.
Yes. And so with those things and our our monthly meetings that we have about leadership and citizenship and community service, we have about probably 30 to 40 more active members outside of the classroom. And so we're always looking to grow those. We always want to get more kids involved. The more kids we have involved, the more they can work with each other to grow. They bounce ideas off of each other a lot, and having a larger group to do that is definitely better for them.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Now, how would somebody get a copy of your program for the summer?
So there are tons of ways to actually contact us. We have a 4-H Facebook page, so just at Crawford 4-H. I'm also the main contact for the 4-H program, being the agent. We have assistants and things like that, but to get straight to me, you can email at sarah.greer, Greer, at uga.edu. And I'm pretty responsive. I try to get my emails on my phone. I try to keep on top of that. And then you can also call the office, and Miss Kathy will answer the phone, and she's fantastic. She is on top of everything. So you can call us at 478-836-3121. We also have weekly newsletters. We have a listserv that we send out, just what's going on this week, what can we do to get involved, how can we help the community. All of that goes out once a week to 4-H and the ag side, so our homeowners and farmers and small producers and stuff like that. And then we also have an extension website. There's tons of ways to keep involved. So that's just extension.uga.edu/Crawford. And that is kind of where we just keep everything, all the contact information, all the signups.
And you're located right downtown Roberta.
Yes, we are at 100 Wright Avenue. And so basically I just tell everybody, if you know where Hudson's is, just facing out of Hudson, just go down the street. Yeah, we're right past Farm Bureau. We're right on that main drag.
Lovely.
So upcoming, you have a rabies clinic. Is that the 4-H side or the extension?
That is the 4-H side. Yes, I play two roles. So the 4-H side is having our annual rabies clinic. It's kind of what we like to call a fundraiser and a community service event all in one.
Sure.
Crawford doesn't have a vet right here, although we have people that will travel in. To be in one place and get your vaccinations for the year is really helpful for the community. It's quick, it's cheap, and in turn, we get to keep some of that. So we get to keep part of that money to go to our programming. So the things that fund our summer activities to cut the cost for students. We might just pay for part of that and then charge students half or whatever to make it easier.
So if you want to participate in this rabies clinic, you bring your animal.
Yes.
And what does it cost for
So it
dogs
is.
or cats?
It's $10 for just the rabies. The vet does offer the other annual vaccinations that you might need. Sometimes those are like a 1 to 3 year basis. So it's up to the owner, and those we don't have. He charges that. That's an extra thing. But the rabies clinic is state mandated. Everybody has to have their rabies tag each year, and so it's $10. You will drive by, he will give the shot, you fill out a form, and you're done. I mean, it takes.
Do you get a tag?
Yes, you get the actual tag there as well. And then another great thing about that, Miss Kathy's always joking that she helps home all these animals because vets around the area will find the dog, and we keep all those records, so we know their tag number and what dog it went to. And so she's actually rehomed some, or not rehomed, but
returned.
Yes, so that's her job in the community as well.
Aw.
So yes, and so it's a huge event. We have really great success in the past, and we're hoping to have a good year this year
And
as
it's
well.
Dr. Felix Smith, right?
Yes,
Is he one of the-
yes.
That does that from Fort Valley.
Yes.
Do you know the various locations?
Yes, so there's actually 7 locations across Crawford County. Again, if you want to get those exact ones and what times we'll be there, I know we'll be at David Bailey Park, so right here in downtown Roberta from 9:30 to about 11:30 on Saturday. And then there's other ones across Lizella and Muzella, yeah, the rhyming ones, and in different areas around. To get more information on that, you can again go to our Facebook page, email me, or call the office, and we'll have that for you.
And it'll be in the Georgia Post.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It has been the last few weeks on top of our page.
Yes.
See?
Very job.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, you You mentioned fundraising and the program, so each program costs something.
Yes.
Do you do other fundraisers to help cut that cost down?
We do a lot of fundraisers. So we've recently had a plant sale. Students were able to sell plants. We got them wholesale from a nursery, and then they were able to keep that in an account for themselves to pay for things like that. And so the more involved you are, the more, if you pay attention to the newsletters, there are opportunities to make it as cheap as possible, because that's obviously a concern. I know growing up there were things that we couldn't do, and the fundraisers and scholarships allowed us to do these fun things and
And it
learn
might
everything.
give a kid an opportunity to go to a summer camp that normally would not.
Exactly. We actually, because of people around Crawford County, we were able to fully fund about 11 students this year to go to camp.
Wow.
Yes. So they applied and they wrote a small letter. It was judged by people in the community, and we were able to send a lot of kids to camp, and we were
That's
really
neat.
excited about that.
That's strong.
Yes, yes.
And people can also just write a check to Crawford County 4-H too. If they send it in early, you
Yep.
can put that towards scholarships
Absolutely,
and stuff.
yes, yes. A lot of our support comes obviously from the community. People
Sure.
who care and want to invest in not only the future of agriculture, but just the students. 4-H is agriculturally based, and that's our history, but we have progressed as the times have needed. We do leadership and citizenship and health services. We do a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, anything that a student is interested in, they can make that their project area and study that and build a portfolio of it, and they
You
can
must
do
really like working with the kids.
I do. Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
All right, let's swap hats now and move over to the extension side.
Okay, great.
All
right.
Tell us about that part of the
Okay,
job.
so obviously right now everything is coming alive. There are birds singing and everything's greening
Flowers,
up.
yeah.
Yes, our noses are stuffing from pollen, and so we are busy in that side of things. Every week we are due to report on crop conditions in the county. So as the extension agent, that is my job to kind of drive around, see how things are doing, take soil moisture tests, different things like that that allow our farmers to know what's expected, what's been going on, and how the rest of the season will go. So we do crop reporting, we do a lot of testing, we do testing from soil to water, we can take well, pond, and basically whatever you need to test and find, we can do it. We can test tissues of
What a
plants
resource.
and yes. We also do a lot of IDing this time of year. So if you have a squash plant that's not doing so well, we can come out and look at it and make recommendations from the University of Georgia resources to help producers out. So whether you just have a couple chickens in the yard or 6 chicken houses, we have the resources to help producers in the area.
Yeah, Lee Dickey was here last week, and he
Yes.
said that he works with you guys
Yes.
to identify things like spider mites,
Yeah.
which made us all scared.
No, they're really, really small. You have to look them through a lens. But yeah, we were out there with Jeff Cook from Peach and Taylor County. He's fantastic. And he works very closely with them and lets me observe and learn everything I can. But,
Now, someplace like as you go towards Fort Valley, there's this field of yellow.
yes.
What is that?
That's canola.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so something that you would press to make canola oil. Those are in full bloom right now, which is on the crop report.
Okay.
So that's part of what just kind of riding around, getting to know producers. A lot of my job is just chatting with people. What does the
darn,
community
sounds
need?
horrible.
What does the community need? A lot of it is partnership. So in the next year, we're working very closely with Mr. Daryl Baxley at Crawford High School, and so we're going to try to get community gardens going.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes, so we're that is what the main focus is currently, is getting funding and resources and just a plan together for a school garden as well as a community garden for.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Because he's in charge of the FFA, right?
Yes,
The Future
yes.
Farmers.
And he has also been moved to what's called the Young Farmers position, and so he does a lot more with adult education as well now. So we kind of work together in that.
So
area.
how would a community garden work? Do you buy a couple of square feet and put your plant in there?
That is what we're trying to figure out right now. So the high school has a school farm, which can be opened up to the community. And so we're thinking about renting out raised beds, so charging a small fee for just your space, but then not only just saying, okay, here you go, good luck, but, giving classes and, hope you do well, but kind of walking side by side and teaching, how do you prepare the soil? How do you detect pests? How do you fertilize correctly?
Fertilizer you need,
exactly.
yeah.
And so
I'm always overwatering.
see, I'm always underwatering, so we could work out together. And so
No, but seriously, I live in a townhouse, so that might be something that
Exactly.
I could have a tomato plant or a corn stalk or something.
exactly. And so, yes. And so part of that, we're looking through, reading a bunch of a lot of areas have community gardens, and a lot of people do it very differently. And so we're trying to figure out what would work best for Crawford. That's part of Extension's job, is to kind of go into a community, learn the community, talk to the people, talk to the producers, and see what do you need and how can UGA Extension help. And so obviously that is one of the concerns in Crawford County, is just access to food and healthy food. And so this might be one way to help that issue and mitigate the issue.
Because people have to go to another county to buy fresh produce.
Exactly.
So if they could have a community garden, and maybe extras from the community garden could be sold locally.
Exactly, and that's the hope. There's even talk of maybe doing some sort of egg project, kind of like what I did growing up with the chickens, but more at an adult level. I think the child level is so scary to me to entrust. I don't know what my parents were thinking. I don't know what that extension service was thinking of giving me 25 baby chicks, but it grew into something awesome, and I think we can continue to replicate that.
That was
here.
an investment in your future.
Exactly. Yes, whether they knew it or not, but yeah, they took that chance, and if we could do that for one kid here, 2 kids here, any impact that we can make is really exciting, and that's kind of what keeps us going, and hoping we get the right people involved and we can make a difference here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome, because agriculture is, our forefathers, my grandmother had a farm, and
Right.
a lot of kids don't know what that experience was like. And,
Exactly.
And we need to be more aware of where our food comes from.
And you have a kitchen at the center too, don't you?
We do, yes.
So maybe you could teach kids how to put up vegetables.
Exactly.
Because that's certainly something I don't know how to do. But I did live in a third world country for almost 3 years, and
Oh my goodness.
every single housewife knew how to jar and
Yes.
can and pickle, and they would do it every year
Yep.
for the winter to come.
Yeah, you spend all summer preparing so that you can just survive through the winter, and we might not be at those extremes, but it's always good to know those things, and that's another thing. So we're working on creating a Junior Master Gardeners Club. So using those school beds, we can do stuff like that. Using Dickey's peaches and making peach jam. Yeah, that's a good. I did that last year, and it was a good time. So, But yes, learning those things are so important, just to take care of yourself,
See, I would go volunteer and be free labor while
You
they
could.
were watching what I was doing
Yeah.
when I lived in Macedonia, because I figured I'd poison myself if I did it. But because I went and I was an extra pair of hands, they'd always give me 2 or 3 jars,
Oh, yeah,
and
there
then
you
when
go.
I was done, I'd return the jar. Next year's coming.
Exactly. So yes, there are hopefully big things on the horizon. If the community wants those things, and we can definitely provide that curriculum and those education experience and those hands-on experiences. I think that's what's so exciting about extension, is it's not just here, read this, hope good luck. It is like we want to be there right by them and teach them hands-on. I think that's one of the best ways to learn, for me at least.
And
so-
some kids will love it, and some kids maybe not.
Exactly.
But you never know when you're planting a seed.
Exactly, and that's the hope, definitely.
speak.
Yeah. Yes.
So what's coming up with Extension?
So I will actually be speaking to the Young Farmers Group on April 17th. That will be at the high school, and that is with Mr. Daryl Baxley. He runs that group, and I'll be talking about baling hay and silage. And so for our cattle producers and just our hay producers in the area, just come and get some UGA-backed resource, research-based. It's from the university. I'm just the one delivering it. So
Now,
that's-
I'm a farmer idiot. So what is silage?
Silage is actually so. I don't know. I don't know how new it is. It seems newer to me, I guess. But so on, like, for instance, a large dairy cattle facility, they want. Sorry, this is going to be long. So they want the cow to be able to get all of its nutrients basically in one bite, is what they say, like a total nutrient ration. And so what they'll do is they'll put up corn or soybean or wheat. They'll kind of put it up wet. And it sort of ferments, but like in a safe
Together?
way, yes. And so they'll kind of pack it into these they'll either put it in these long concrete houses, or they'll put it in white long bags. So some people will joke that looks like a marshmallow farm or something like that. And so
So as they dole it out, they get some of everything.
yes, exactly. And it's safe. It's,
Kind of like my cat kibble.
yes, but it's put up wet, whereas hay is put up dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't cows have like 5 stomachs or something?
They have 4 compartments.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is sort of like helping the first compartment, you know?
Essentially, yeah, they'll break it down. They'll continue to break it down, but it's a little bit, yeah, it's not like they're just eating a corn cob. It's going to be ground up, wet, and then they'll be able to digest it a little bit faster.
Okay. Now, how is that different from grass-fed? I mean,
So grass-fed is where, or grass-finished is where a cow is grown up on pasture, so they don't get grain. There is research going on to see whether that is better or not, or whether it is different, but it's just a management preference. So,
and what's your opinion?
Jeff Cook always says that as an extension agent, we don't have opinions.
Okay.
Anymore. Yes. So
Very well.
we're just research. We tell you what the research says, and just because that might divide some people. So I won't say what my preference is on a Sunday night steak, but but yeah, it's just it's a preference right now. Some people swear by one or the other, and it's just up to the research to tell us.
Well, I don't eat meat, so I'm just wondering what the cows are eating. Okay, very good. Well, this has been really interesting.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank
Sarah.
you.
I learned a lot. I didn't know. I grew up around 4-H and Extension, but some of that I didn't know. But you also have pamphlets and stuff available at your office.
Yes.
Some of these.
Yes. Yeah. We have educational resources. We have pamphlets about what's going on, what's coming up. Anything you need, we can even print off. We have a large database of online things that we can print off as needed as well.
Great. And do you live in the area?
I don't right now, but we're moving into there. Me and my husband have. We're finishing up remodeling a house, and then we're looking to move this way.
That's
for sure.
awesome.
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so what's most current on your schedule? The rabies clinic?
Yes, probably the rabies clinic. Yes. So this Saturday is the rabies clinic. All across Crawford County. Check out our website for more information. Email me. Call the office 478-836-3121. And get where those locations are when we'll be there. We'll be traveling all across the county from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. that day.
Well, thank you. It's been very informative.
Thank you so much.
Our guest today has been Sarah Greer with the Crawford County 4-H and the Extension Office, and we really appreciate you being here for
Thank
all
you
that
so much.
information. Don't forget the rabies clinic this weekend, Saturday. You can be at David Bailey Park and other locations throughout the county. So thank you, and we hope you have a good week, and we will see you next week.